So Alan Sultanic taught me a tactic to use with my ad copy and my landing page copy, and it works extremely well, and it works even better if you're in the core three: markets, health, wealth, and relationships, with which apparently everyone is. So let's dissect weight loss. Now, with with these markets, you have to be compliant, obviously. So you have to kind of, not explicitly say stuff, but I'm going to show you how this tactic works. Alan refers to it as chunking down. I just refer to it as making it make sense. Like, that's all we're really doing, is just making the thing we are proposing make sense. Okay, now I know that sounds super easy. It is quite, it is easier in nature to do, but just having in the back of your mind when you're writing copy, when you're writing all these things, it's just make it make sense, because a lot of these demographics are hopeless and helpless because they've been trying this stuff for so long, right? So let's take this copy here. Now, again, they're not going to come out and state you're going to lose weight, and again, you can do this on the ad level, or you can do this on the landing page. That is that. Okay, because a lot of these individuals obviously want to lose weight. So let's take this one here. Maybe your metabolism is starting to feel a bit sluggish. Maybe what worked for you in your 20s and 30s has suddenly stopped working. Or maybe you've tried all the crash diets and detoxes and punishing workouts only to find that they induce yo-yo dieting and cycles of binging and restricting. That all stops today. Introduce 7-day metabolism reset and just science back approach. No crash diets, no detoxes, no more starting yourself. You get 7-day. So again, we're starting to make it make sense, right? So okay, they intrigue me here. First, we're agreeing. There's agreements, right? There's agreements, right? There's relational copy, like relating, because and again, if I'm asking a question, I'm not experiencing their problem. So whenever you say, like right here, they're just going into it. Maybe your metabolism is starting to feel a bit sluggish. Maybe what worked in your 20s and 30s has stopped working, right? They understand that. But if it was a question, it'd be different, right? Like, they're not, it's a statement. The question, if it would be, is your metabolism starting to feel a bit sluggish? If you're asking a question, you're not experiencing it. And subconsciously, the ICP understands that, okay, on a subconscious level. If I'm experiencing it, I don't need to ask questions. I can go right into it. I can just say, my metabolism started to slow down. Maybe what worked in my 20s and 30s has suddenly stopped working. Those are like statements, they're not questions, because if you're experiencing the thing, you don't need to ask questions. You can just start talking about your experience, right? So instead of saying, are you tired of making money? That's not, we can't relate together, because it's like I'm in a therapy session. You're asking me all these questions. But instead, if you said, I know the 9 to 5 is probably not working as great as it once was, especially in today's economy. I know that the groceries are a lot more expensive than it once was. X, Y, and Z. Like, you go into it. So if you're asking questions, you have to be careful, because if you're asking questions, you're not necessarily relating to your demographic. You're basically not on their level, right? You're looking down at them, essentially being like, are you tired of not losing weight, right? Instead of just saying, over the past X, Y, are your jeans are probably not fitting as good as they once were. Stuff like that. So you have to be careful what type of questions you're asking. And if you are asking questions in nature, you're not necessarily meeting them where they're at, or you're not experiencing the stuff they have experienced. And they understand that. Obviously, there's a time and place to ask questions or just to make statements. So right here, we're having agreements. We're having relational. We're having just a rapport building conversation. All right, and then boom, continues downwards. Yes, totally. But back to the chunking down or making it make sense. So here they come obviously with their mechanism: 7-day metabolism reset, no crash diets, no detoxes, no more starving yourself skinny. Look at 7 days of daily action-based tutorials that will help you lay the foundation for sustainable energy that doesn't crash at 3 p.m. Okay, so here again, we're making it make sense. Because if I just said the benefit, like it's again the benefit of the benefit. If I just said the benefit like sustainable energy, they're like, yeah, whatever. But now sustainable energy at 3 p.m. That makes sense, right? Like, yeah, I actually am going through that. It becomes a lot more like visceral, right? Like they feel that because that's what they're going through, and they're not going to say three. They're going to say a specific number because that's what their ICP is telling them. Probably with all the surveys and all the data that they have, they go majority of people are crashing at 3 p.m. It's most likely they're adenosine, but they're drinking coffee too early in the morning. Better sleep so you wake up refreshed instead of exhausted. Reduce inflammation that's been making you feel puffy and uncomfortable, right? This is all making sense. So there's levels to making it make sense. This is not necessarily chunking down just yet, but with direct response, like Alan says, you need it to you need them to make sense. You have to just tell them and you have to break it down. That's why a lot of this is just like hand holding the entire process because you need it to make sense. If there's a certain gap in any area, you break the buying cycle. Okay, you make it severely more difficult for the individual to want to buy. All right. So they go through the benefits. What you're going to get, all this for $27. Boom, boom, boom. It also includes 5 bonuses. So again, they're trying to be compliant, so they're not going to say you're going to lose 20 pounds. Okay, they're going to kind of beat around the bush or whatever, for lack of a better term. But at one point, what I want them to do, again, because all this demographic, the money-making demographic, the weight loss, the health, wealth, and relationship demographic have tried these solutions, have tried every type of solution under the sun, and it still does not work, right? That's why we have all this here. There's all this talk, right? Because they understand that it's not working. So it's like, look, we know you tried this, and this, and all this other stuff. That's why we have this new thing. Right? And by proxy, this is supposed to work. Okay? By association, kind of. By proxy, it's supposed to work. But, right, so back to my point. So these demographics have tried every type of solution. Like for myself, I've tried to make money. And I keep trying to make more money. And I bought courses. I bought ebooks. I've bought books. I bought all this stuff. Right? So if you're coming at me, one, you're going to need something new. And that's kind of the key to every type of market. Every type of solution has to be new. Specifically if it's more sophisticated. And then Breakthrough Advertising suggests, depending where they are on the levels of sophistication, dictates how you're going to go about speaking to your thing. But one thing is, if I come here, so again, we've all tried these things, so you just become jaded in nature. And what happens? You become low emotional. You become in a low emotional state because you just become jaded, low emotional state because it's not working and nothing has worked. So you just give up. You're like, no, actually, it's kind of impossible for me to lose weight, right? And the crazy part is you will see other people lose weight. It just doesn't work for you, right? Like you will see people go to the gym. You will see Susie or Susan or Brad walk on the treadmill, do 20 push-ups, do his push-pull leg split. And you'll see that day in and day out. And then you're still contemplating how you make money or how you get fit, right? Same with the money-making community. You will see Buddy put in a 9 to 12 day, right? Put in 16 hours, put in 12 hours, outreach, offer, all this stuff. And then you're still contemplating how it doesn't work for you. Like you're stuck in that mindset. And that's why you're hopeless and you're helpless. It's a mindset game, right? You will physically see it, but you don't believe it, right? So with these people, if I'm going to tell you, for instance, you're going to make $5 million by the end of the year, you are going to be like, no way in hell, no matter how good my copy is. and even if you get to this point, right? This is referred to as chunking down. We're getting to it. No matter how good my copy is, if I get to the point and it's just completely out of reality, you're like, this is a load of shit. This does not make any sense, right? So again, you need to make it make sense for these type of people. Because if I'm going to go up to an individual that is in menopause, right? I think they help and if I'm going to help an individual, okay, that has walked this earth for 40 plus years, they understand, they can smell bullshit from a mile away. So if I'm going to come in here and say, you're going to lose 20 pounds, and I'm going to state that in a nice way that's compliant, I'm going to say, hey, your jeans are going to fit better. You're going to be like in your 20s. You're going to be like, your high school jeans are going to fit you. If I'm going to be saying that, or if I'm going to say, hey, you're going to make more money than you ever have, shorter than you ever have, for, less time than you ever have, they're going to call bullshit. So I have to make it make sense. And that is when I need to chunk the idea down. And making it make sense is basically making sure this maths. Because logically, they're thinking, no way in hell. Again, you have to think about it. If this individual has walked the earth for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, they have so much evidence. And again, a lot of people are negative. They have so much evidence of why the thing has not worked. Like every time I go try to make more money, it's like, here we are again, the same cycle trying to make more money. And it's like, I've tried this. That's why it takes years. It takes us decades to get health, wealth, and relationships down. It just doesn't happen overnight. So if you're going to come here and tell me I'm going to lose 20 pounds and I've tried for the last 15 years, doesn't matter how hard I tried, right? Because trying is all subjective, right? I can maybe walk for 5 minutes for the last 10 years and I'll think that's difficult. Probably not going to want to target that individual, but trying is all subjective. Okay? So again, you need to make it make sense, or I'm going to call bullshit and I'm going to bounce. I go, this is unreal. This is not going to happen. But if you say you're going to lose 20 pounds, just like 15,000 other people have, right? Social and credibility, right? Right? So if you look and you tell someone, hey, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and they haven't in forever a time, you have a lot of work to do, right? Especially in direct response when they're just landing on your when they're just landing on your ads. So what you want to do is you want to chunk the thing down. You want to make it make sense. You want to make sure the maths. Okay, so again, if I'm going to say, hey, you're going to lose 20 pounds, you're thinking, not really. No matter how kind of good the idea is, right? I have to flip you, I have to change you. So the way I'm going to do that is by doing the math. I'm going to say, it's easy for you to lose 20 pounds. Let me show you, describe to you how easy it is for you to truly, or really, depending if you're selling to a male or female demographic, really is a word for men and truly is a word for women. So let me explain to you, let me show you how easy it is for you to truly or really lose 20 pounds. I understand you've been trying this for years on years, but it's become now easier with this new mechanism. And really, you're not losing 20 pounds. You're losing 1 pound a day for 20 days. You are, you're eating 500 calories less for X amount of time. You are potentially walking for 30 minutes and eating 500 calories less. You are not getting the donut at work and instead walking for 5 minutes. That's how easy it is. And you're so close. You're one click away from really truly feeling like you should. Okay? Or you truly are. Whatever. But you just want to chunk it down because the idea, it's hard to picture the idea. Right? Like if you're going to tell me I'm going to make a few 100,000, I'm going to make a few million, it's hard to picture that. Especially with these types of demographics. Pretty much with everyone in the world, right? Again, if they've tried everything and it just hasn't worked, There's so much evidence going against you that you need it to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, they are gone. So with the money-making community, if you haven't made 10,000, 100,000, a million yet, and I come in here saying, we've helped 5,000 other people drop their 9 to 5 and earn more while working less and getting weekends off and spending time with your kids, doing all that fun stuff that you truly deserve and that you again, really deserve. This life that you always had in the back of your mind, you can now achieve. They're like, this sounds like crap. I've heard this before. So what you say is you go, 5,000 people, yada, yada, yada. Let me show you how easy it is. Let me show you how easy our students find it to make money. Right? At the end of the day, they're not making $5,000. They're making whatever, a month or whatever. It's like they're making X amount per month. They're making X amount per week. They're making X amount per day. Do you think you could make X amount per day? Question mark. There are, and then you provide numbers, right? Or you provide math, or you just provide not proof, but you provide enough, you just make it sound so dumb that it's like, of course it's going to happen. Like if I were to say to you, do you think it would be possible to lose, or do you think it would be possible to make 100 people a day with 8 billion people online? And you're like, probably. Like 8 billion people, you're thinking one person. And then you go, well, instead of, if you're trying to make, if you're trying to sell 1,000 units or 100 units of something, right? If you're trying to make $100 and each thing's $1, you say instead of selling this for $100, you're going to sell the one unit for 100. And do you think you could sell one unit of $100 that everyone pretty much can afford, right? $100 in today's economy is like a full tank of gas. It's a few items at the grocery store, right? It's your gym membership. It's X, Y, and Z. It's your water bill, whatever the hell it is. I'm chunking the idea down. I'm making it make sense. Because if it doesn't make sense, they're gone. And they go, that makes sense. It's like, yeah, I spent $100. If I leave the house, I spend $100. It's like, well, surely someone's going to buy that then. And there's 8 billion, there's X amount of people online that I can sell this thing to. My goodness. That becomes more possible. And again, we're making it make sense. Ultimately, what we're doing is we're picturing the new reality that we're stepping into. We're picturing the new reality that we're stepping into because of this chunking down. Before, if I just say, again, you're going to make $1 million, you're going to lose 20 pounds. That's not a reality I can step into. It's never happened before. But if you start making it make sense, doing the math and all this other shit, you go, ooh, that sounds possible. And that is what we're going for. That sounds possible. That sounds doable. And then suddenly all that evidence that they have had, that they're just stacking against you, being like, wrong, no, not going to happen, starts shrinking. And you go, oh, all right. Now you got a fighting chance because you're making it make sense. And then you got the desire, you got the scarcity, you got the social proof, the credibility, all that stuff. And you're like, now we're talking. And then they click over or they buy the thing because you made it make sense. If it makes sense, that's the thing too. If it made sense, right? If weight loss made sense, if making money made sense, people wouldn't have a problem with it. But everyone won, especially health, right? Health can be quite easy. It's like walk more, input out, input and outputs. It's like walk more, eat less, and then just keep doing that. But it's like we have to make this huge thing because it's a market and we have to, new people are coming in. So we have to, blue ocean this thing. And it's just like, it becomes difficult. So you just have to make it make sense. Add that to your ad copy or your landing page. And I promise you, making it make sense, doing the math really so they can feel it, they can believe in it, they can step into that reality. Promise you, you'll get more conversions. All right, take care and we'll chat tomorrow.